Welcome back to the Crypto's Key conversation. Throughout the first half of this video, we're going to be covering some of the Ripple versus SEC updates, looking at a couple of tweet threads. And we're also going to take a look at what's going on with Ethereum 2.0 or consensus layer. We're going to take a look at what Raul Paul says about kind of users within the crypto space versus the internet age. And then we're going to take a look at what's going on with Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market. So quickly looking at CoinGecko, we're currently sitting at a 1.81 trillion dollar market cap, currently down 0.5%. And as you can see, Bitcoin sitting at 38,959, Ethereum 2,583, Tether, Binance Coin $372, XRP 78 cents, Terra sitting at $90, Solana sitting at $81, Cardano 81 cents, and Polkadot sitting at $18. Coming over here, we're currently down a point from yesterday looking at the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. And as you can see, we've been in this extreme fear range for some time. So as you know, if you've been following the channel, we've been in this range for couple months now. Yes, we were in the neutral range and a little bit of the fear range, but it's like this kind of been our home. So obviously there's still a lot of uncertainty in the markets. So let's just going to quickly jump in. I wanted to cover some of Johnny Deaton's tweet threads here. He's responding to Tony Knightley, where he says, "Sir John, a question. So 14 days after discovery, there is supposed to be this 1 hour powwow with the SEC to talk about potential settlement. I'm guessing the talk already happened prior to the Taurus ruling. Can you shed any light?" So Johnny Deaton says, "I don't believe the below mediation has taken place. Now that the motion to strike has been denied, the SEC has 30 days to answer Ripple's pending request for admissions. Also, we are waiting on Judge Netburn to rule on the emails and Estabrook notes," which the 63 emails is massive. So hopefully that comes into Ripple's favor. So it's really going to shed light on the rest of the timeline, the missing pieces from the Ethereum Free Pass timeline that Johnny Deaton and Digital Asset Investor always talks about, and the community had kind of pieced together this timeline. So come down here, Crypto Holder 999 says, "Crypto news, John, do you have any idea when Judge could rule on the emails?" He says, "I'm surprised it hasn't come down already. I assume this week. I imagine being a judge and your opinion will immediately be scrutinized by thousands of people around the world and likely appeal no matter what you decide. I'm sure Judge Netburn is making it bulletproof." So obviously trying to make sure she has all her ducks in a row when it comes down to her verdict. So continuing on here, he has this another tweet thread here where he goes, he's responding. I forgot what this one was talking about, but basically there's some person that was kind of responding on, "I don't understand why the XRP and Ripple community are all gung-ho about this denial of the SEC's strike of fair notice, the strike of Ripple's fair notice in the case." And he's kind of putting his 2 cents on it. He says, "There's a valid reason XRP holders are celebrating the judge's denial of the motion to strike Ripple's fair notice defense. Critics fail to see the big picture and instead focus on legal nuance. The reason XRP holders are celebrating is because they believe Gary Gensler will not risk a decision by the court finding the SEC's own lack of clarity, inconsistencies, and confusions related to regulating the digital asset space caused a lack of fair notice to the market. If the court were to make such a finding, and that's a big if, it could have huge impact on the SEC's ability to regulate the space. XRP holders see two possible options for Gensler. One, Gensler can achieve a settlement for a significant sum, for example, 100 million or more, thus providing him a huge public victory with bragging rights allowing him to say he held Ripple accountable for sales of XRP during the early years while allowing innovation to move forward. Or two, risk a ruling which at best will embolden other projects in the space to fight versus SEC, or at worst regulate its jurisdictions to ICOs only. Many believe he will choose the first option and not risk a huge loss. He could claim victory while focusing on his next crypto target." So I want to thank Johnny D for kind of putting out his 2 cents and kind of shedding some light on this issue here. And quite honestly, we all agree, and I think most of us do at least, that he's going to choose the latter. He's going to choose this route instead of risking going, full litigation and risk, losing his power within the space. Coming over here, Digital Asset Investor had put up, I don't know if it was a retweet, but he had put up this image. This is Brad Garlinghouse's likes, and it's from Crypto Beta, and it says, "Our time is coming," and it's XRP crypto, or hashtag XRP community, and so on. So our time is coming. And it made me think about what Blockchain Backer was kind of talking about here, and just the sentiment when it comes to XRP investors like myself. So I know there's a lot of talk of, BC Backer says, we're going to hit based on the charts and the fibs, our range is looking at, a $10 to $13 range XRP. And, you have other analysts that say, $15 to $20, and some say $20 to $30. And there's all these different analysts of these charts that have their own reasonings of why. And I wanted to bring this up because you see Brad Garlinghouse liking this, our time is coming. So it's more than just the charts. Now my question is, what is it going to be? What's the impact going to be to the price of XRP once Ripple wins this lawsuit against the SEC and XRP has the regulatory clarity that it needs to flourish, meaning it's not a security. So, what type of FOMO and euphoria is going to be induced into just the XRP price chart in general? So in blockchain backers regard, if he's saying we're going to $10 to $13 per the charts and the fibs, right, just based on history from past cycles, how does the influence and impact of the case have on the price after that? Like, does that mean we still hit 10 to 13, or does that mean the FOMO is going to be real and we far surpass, that range? So I just quickly wanted to read through this. You can come and check out all the charts, but I just wanted to read through it because I thought it was quite insightful. He says, I often pointed to the XRP price charts accumulation structure that's been going on since April. For fun, I've added, let me zoom in. For fun, I've added this chart below. Before you move on in this thread, take a closer look at the chart and try to guess what asset it is and when it happened. So you can take a look at this. Coming down here, he says, did you get it right? It's Bitcoin from 2013. It says an 82% crash in 48 hours, a crash retrace reaccumulation structure that went on to reach above a 4.236 extension in the later year. So this is the 4.236. So this is kind of what he's covering. So coming down here, you can look at the charts. I'm just going to read. He says the structure we had in Bitcoin from 2018 to 2020 played a large role in why I believe the top was coming in for Bitcoin. I spent years discussing this on YouTube prior to the top happening, so it wasn't a surprise I sounded the alarms. 2018 to 2021 was a repeat of 2013. So he kind of puts up his illustration and his reasonings. So obviously he's one of the analysts, I think one of the rare ones that say Bitcoin is in a bear market. He's just kind of waiting for a retracement and then the altcoin rally to happen with that retracement per, our past Bitcoin cycle in crypto market history when it comes to the cycles. So he continues on here. He says, while the USD value came up a tick short of the 4.236 extension, the market cap nailed it. So coming up here. Then if you look at this chart, he says, which of course lines up with the 2018 to 2020 for Bitcoin as well. So you can pause it and take a look at that. And he continues on. He says, heck, even the crash and capitulation of XRP fall since April mirrored that of a full-blown completed Bitcoin crash, falling to similar levels after the same setups. So you have Bitcoin and XRP, if you could take a look. So then coming down here, he says, and in that circumstance, it of course led to the 2017 Bitcoin and crypto bull run where Bitcoin went from $150 to 20,000. So he kind of puts up the charts. Obviously, Bitcoin and Ethereum, different charts, but if you can take a look at the structures. So then coming down here, says something that for something like that for XRP would be like $26, but I'm not here to sell that kind of hopium dream. My focus is merely on the structure. XRP completed a standard crashing structure in April through June of 2021 as shown versus Bitcoin. It says, and the accumulation structure here is common. A crash, initial retrace back to the 0.618 Fibonacci level, then a revisit of the lows. So if you look at Bitcoin and XRP, look, you have the 0.618, the 0.618, and then a revisit of the low. So he's kind of showing that here. So then right here, what does that get you? Well, if it followed that, it gets you in the $6 to $7 area. So he's showing, okay, this is where, Bitcoin was. And look, this, if it were the same or similar, it would get you to this range, the $6 to $7. So then he goes, for me, I focus on the bigger one. The same reach out Ethereum and Bitcoin did, closer to the 3.618 and the 4.236 extension, which, as you all know, is the $10 to $13 area. So he's been preaching this for a while. So as you can see here, he's talking about these levels, these two levels up here. So boom, boom. And then he targets that up here for XRP. Coming down here, he says, we know Ethereum and Bitcoin both reached a 4.236 extension on their market cap. What if XRP does that? Well, that's a 1,500% rise from this current location on its market cap chart, which would be a $12.80 XRP price. So he kind of shows it from where we're at to where it's going. Then he goes, what if it's just following the market cap fractals from previous run-ups? Even in that circumstance, it exceeds $9. So he gives you that visual there as well. So then he goes, but again, circling back to my point, I'm optimistic on XRP because of the charts. So he's speaking specifically on the charts, and that's why I'm bringing this up. I get asked all the time if developments in the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit will impact price. I have no way to know. I can only speculate on news, narratives, and psychological reactions. I do not have the answers, and any guess I make is not quantitatively measurable. So he's big on the numbers and charts. So right here goes, but I can look to these charts and I can study their structures, and I've seen this time and time again. So he's kind of showing all the different, I guess, facts of why his reasoning is, why he is coming down to the conclusions that he's coming down. So you can come in and click on him and take a look at him. But he explains all these in his videos pretty well as well. So when he comes down here, he says, and I'm optimistic for Ripple to get a victory versus the SEC yesterday. Not because I'm a Ripple fanboy. I'm happy for the rest of the crypto market to get the fair notice victory that they can use, and that it may lead to the relisting of XRP sooner than later. That's my optimism. But the only control I have is to look at the charts and to see if there's any similarities to the past and a reason to be optimistic regarding that. And for all the things I've shown in this thread on the charts, that's my optimism. That's my hope. And he has fingers crossed. I hope it plays out. I hope it plays out that way. So I just wanted to throw this up there because I thought it was pretty relevant, important, and I just wanted to bring out that discussion of like, okay, so what happens when Ripple and XRP does get the regulatory clarity it needs, and Ripple or XRP isn't, considered a security? How is that going to entice and impact the price based on the structures in the case in that litigation? Let me know down in the comments what you think. So Martin Volk had put up a tweet here, says Ripple and XRP news. Ripple welcomes more than 4,000 artists into the new NFT platform. So that's huge. Coming over here, says macro guru Raw Powell unveils new valuation model for Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Polkadot. Says crypto growing far faster than the internet. So before I go over here, I wanted to come over here. So remember, if you've been paying attention to the channel, we've covered this Wells Fargo's special report, Understanding Cryptocurrencies, where he says cryptocurrencies too early or too late. It says the key takeaways: cryptocurrencies users are growing globally and rapidly off low base. Cryptocurrency appeared to a near hyper adoption phase, similar to the internet during the mid to late 1990s. Hyper adoption phase. So then if you came down here, they had like a bunch of diagrams and infographics and stuff. And this was the one I was kind of looking at the most. It was talking about internet users, which is the red line here, crypto users. So it was kind of just in relation, it's kind of just getting started. But now if we come over here and look at this one, this is from GMI. It says crypto users versus the internet users over the same time log scale. Look at the crypto users, which is the gold, right? And obviously they have the dotted lines to see progression over time, but it says the total global internet users is the white. And look at this. This is absolutely massive. I mean, think about the internet users in the internet age. Boom, look at this. And now they're talking about this so-called hyper adoption phase. So right here is a quote. It says 2021 was an accelerating growth year in the Reed's law effect of networks built upon networks creating even more exponentially is clear. But year 6 after the first 5 million users, crypto has 295 million participants and the internet had 119 million. Oh baby, when I say this, we're so early, this is just the beginning. I know it's so annoying to hear, especially during these times of extreme fear in the markets and our portfolios just being decimated, but it's like, I tell myself that to reassure myself, like, hey, you're doing the right thing. You're in the right place at the right time. We're so early. These charts are showing that. These big, data research companies, these big, people, big investors in the space that are, highly successful in their investments throughout, their decades or whatever the case is, like they're all seeing the writing on the wall. So it's just a matter of when, not if, this market truly takes off in full hyper adoption. So coming over here, it says, this is from Daily Hollow as well. It says over 26, which is billion worth of ETH, or is that million? Excuse me. 100,000. Yeah, 26 billion worth of ETH now staked in Ethereum 2.0 deposit contract analytics firm Glassnode. So obviously, this the ETH is taking off. I mean, ETH is this ETH 2.0, or now they're saying consensus layer. It's just kind of, rolling without friction, it seems like. Coming over here, this was massive. This is from Lex. It says Bitcoin illiquid supply share has recovered entire China ban dump and reach 4-year all-time high. It took 11 months, but we finally did it. 76.23% of supply is now illiquid. So on this channel, we talk a lot about just like scarcity and rarity of things, right? And when it comes to Bitcoin and the crypto asset, we all know that Bitcoin, for instance, XRP, Ethereum, they have this factor of scarcity, and you can't produce any more. So it's like when it comes to the exchanges and the liquid supply on the exchanges, and you have all these big whales buying off, consuming all of it, all that does is decrease the supply on the exchanges. So that what it does is the supply isn't there and the demand's going to increase. There's not enough Bitcoin to go around for everyone to have some. They talk about there being, a certain amount of millionaires out there, and all the millionaires out there can't even get one Bitcoin themselves at this point. So it just shows you how scarce and how rare the asset is. So then it says illiquid supply. So obviously they're just constantly buying. They're constantly buying, taking it off, putting it into cold storage, constantly accumulating. So then once the supply keeps decreasing, that demand's going to increase, which then is going to increase the price of the asset. So this is massive, and if this shows you that we're still early. Yes, Bitcoin is super high in relation to asset like XRP being under $1 or Cardano, but it's like if you really look at the grand scheme of things, we're still early. Coming over here, Michael Saylor even says, he goes, Bitcoin is scarce. Understood? I mean, straight up, it really is. And I wanted to touch on this. This is Coda Black in a podcast, Full Send podcast, and it says if I'm making $300K for a show, send me $100K in Bitcoin. So I'm just putting this up here because this is an artist, a popular public figure out there. Just like him, there's now hundreds of other businesses, major corporations, institutions. Big industry players, popular people, celebrities, they're all seeing the writing on the wall. So I just thought this was pretty powerful. Just let me play it so you can listen in.
You ever said, yo, I want to take Bitcoin for my shows?
I swear that's what I was saying, bro.
Oh, really?
That's what I was telling them. Tell the people like, okay, if I get 300 for a show, send me like 100 in Bitcoin.
Oh, that's good. Have they done that or no? They agreed to
I'm
do that?
gonna start doing that now.
So quite honestly, I think that's a smart play. I mean, if that were me and I, understood kind of where things were going and I had some sort of understanding of this space, that's what I would truly do. I would definitely take at least a certain percentage of my revenue or the money that I've earned in, Bitcoin and digital assets. Absolutely, especially as a hedge against inflation that we're dealing with in the United States. So I just wanted to throw that up there. We are so early, Kay, and I know it's so annoying to hear, but just like reassure yourself, remind yourself of where you're at right now. Yes, it's painful to see the blood in the streets. Our portfolios are decimated, but if we zoom out and we look at the grand scheme of things, we are on the right train or the right rocket, however you want to see it. With all that being said, stay strong out there. Be safe.